All right. What is happening, traders? So the market is about to open in less than a minute flat. We're going to see how this thing rock and rolls from here. I kind of feel like we got cheated a little bit on Bitcoin and some other assets, so we're definitely going to be taking a look at those today as well. Everything is much better. I've been working all day, so we have got this to kill. And oh my gosh, what a spike in price to the downside on the Euro USD. Let's see if Bitcoin is taking a hit from that on the 5-minute. No, Bitcoin is not taking a hit on the 5-minute. So this is, let me make sure that I am on Oanda's. Yes, so okay, any other data feed is going to show a gap, right? This is how Oanda clears up its gaps. Basically, you have a big, nasty bearish candle to the downside. This white fat line is a weekly old support or old resistance, now turned support, or we thought was going to be support. So basically, here is the weekly time frame. You can see the last bullish candle. We used the last bullish candle's closing price to be support when price trades up through it. So when price is underneath of it, it's resistance. It blasted through it. So come back. Let's see if it holds support. It held support for 3 weeks. We are opening up on this week right now, and we are heading lower currently. So that means the dollar is going to be pushing higher. Now, it is just before the Asian session even, so this gap could get closed. We're not really concerned about it too much. I was not in any positions, especially on any dollar pairings, because this was acting like it was going to roll over, and it so far has rolled over. Now this is a 5-minute time frame, and you can clearly see that this was the low of day Friday, and then we traded away from the low of day. We have just stopped everybody out, because if you take a look up here at the pips, you're 8.7 pips wide on the spread. So just the fact that this thing opened up, if you had a stop anywhere close to this low, even within 20 pips, you have been smoked. All right, so condolences. I wasn't trading this thing, or wasn't looking to hold this thing coming into the open this week, because like I said, it looked nasty. This was the FOMC meeting that we had, this big bullish candle right here. This is when the Fed was speaking. So that whole move has been retraced. If you guys don't mind, could you please make sure you can let me know if you can hear my voice, see the screen, everything is good, looks clear, all's good. So I will go ahead and proceed, because I do realize there is a lag. So yeah, this is a nasty candle to the downside just to open up. You cannot trade the open on Sunday, otherwise you're going to get smoked. The spread is too wide, and yeah, it's terrible to try to trade this stuff. Good here. Thank you, Kyle, so much for that. All right, so we can continue. So basically, moving forward, we're going to be looking to sell this market. Voice and screen clear. Ed D, thank you, my friend. What's up, Ajith? Kyle, Woody, Kimberly, Elias, Ed, Woody. Big Girl FD, what is happening? Thank you guys so much for showing up. So let's get this going. So basically, this is our weekly old support, or old resistance was support until this push lower. Now this push lower doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't want you to just automatically grab a bearish bias because of this, because simply you have a wick low right here, and this is a target to the bearish side. So unless this gets smoked tonight and it continues lower, then you may have a retracement back up into this 1.19046 level, and at that point, that's probably when I would be looking to take some short entries on this, especially if we have not taken out this wick target right there. So we're going to be watching that first thing in the morning, obviously in the New York Open. For you lovely characters that are awake during the London Open, you will have a chance to possibly enter before anybody else. The volume doesn't seem as loud for me. Do I need to turn the volume up? If the volume needs to be turned up, just let me know, Kimberly. I will turn it up for you. I try to keep the mic volume low because I have a very deep, loud voice, especially when I get going. And I don't want to blow anybody's eardrums out that are wearing earbuds or whatever. So just let me know if you want me to turn it up a tad. I can do that, absolutely. So basically, this was the level that's going to be in play. If we go into an 8-hour mark or an 8-hour time frame, you can absolutely. All right, let me turn it up just a little bit, guys. It's no big deal. How's that? That should be a little better. I can even go a little louder right there. That should take care of it. All right, so moving on. The Euro USD still looking good. Not looking good to the upside. Not right now, currently. But you are getting test right here. Namaste to you too, Mr. Fernandez. This is your support right here. It's the last bearish closing candle before price traded away. Much better on the volume. All right, perfect. This is awesome. All right, good to go. So basically, this is going to be the support level. We've already tested that. So what this does from here will pretty much just dictate what's going to happen for the rest of the week. If we get back up here and we're trading back above this bullish candle, like tomorrow or something, then this right here will just simply be a stop run. That's all it will be. Because like I said, anybody that had their stops even below this wick low, they are gone because of the spread. You would have had to have your stop 20 pips below this candle's low in order not to get stopped out by that. So just to put it into perspective, what would 20 pips look like? Well, you would need to have your stop all the way down to here to not get stopped out on that wick. So it's highly unlikely that anybody did that. So as of right now, we're just going to look at this push down as a stop run for possible moves back to the upside. Because what type of orders is down here? You have sell orders. All right, you have sell orders down here. For anybody that got long, their stop loss is a sell order. So the market participants that move this market know that if they want to buy this market, they need a lot of sell orders, right? Well, there just happens to be a lot of willing sellers sitting right under the 1.18689 level, and you just triggered all those sell orders. So moving forward, there is no high probable trade from this point because we don't know if they bought up that liquidity or if this is going to be a deeper push down as the sellers are still aggressive on the market. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, we're going to have to be up in this area for me to be not bearish on it anymore, but we'll see. All right, because this is in the near term, you can clearly see that it's pushing lower, right? I mean, we had a pretty nasty sell-off right here, and then we've been basically range-bound ever since. Let's pull up a 3-day market or a 3-day candle so you can see. Basically, you did take out the high of this candle with a closure, but now you're back below it, which could indicate possible short side incoming, but we just don't know yet because it's way too early into the week. This right here is range-bound, so basically, the levels to watch moving on into the week for the weekly range expansion, you're going to have resistance at 1.19794. That's going to be your right up close in your face resistance. So if this does start to head back up, you are going to have to fight with that, but it will give us an opportunity on any pullbacks to look to get long. If this is continuing lower, like into the London Open, if you're already making lows, then yeah, I'm not probably going to be looking at entering anything on this until Tuesday, until it susses itself out. So the market seems to think that even though the FOMC said that they're going to do everything they can to keep this market in good shape, this seems to be telling a different picture. So the market is buying up the dollar, and that's going to cause any dollar pairings to head lower. And I would much rather take a trade on the one that is the weakest. So as of right now, we don't know what that is. It looks like it may be the euro. Let's go look at the Aussie, see what it did. It did the same thing, had a big nasty push lower. Let's go into a 5-minute, see if it was big too. Yes, it was. Pretty nasty stuff right there. So that's bid on the dollar. It's going to be a good week, I think. We're finally going to get out of this nonsense in here. Can't wait. It's time to start trending in one way or the other. So yeah, this essentially was just an area for people to get short, and they did. So you can see the trend line coming in there. Everybody thought it was going to be bullish. I even thought it was going to be bullish because what he had to say in that meeting was good news. You know what I mean? They're going to do everything they can to prop the markets up. So that should put a bid under risk on assets like Bitcoin, Euro, Aussie, all those are risk on assets. So you would think that they would put a bid under it. But the fact that it's falling means the market doesn't believe in what he has to say. But remember, very early into the week. What is up, Janet Swift? Thank you for being here. All right, just checking out the comments real quick. Everything looks good. All right, so yeah, basically we're going to wait and see what happens. This is pretty nasty price action. It's very hard to trade stuff like this because you can't really get a daily bias as to what's going on. You see how choppy the daily candles are. So yeah, going to have to give it some time to see, but I know one thing. If we're trading way beneath these levels by the time I wake up, I am going to be looking for retracements to sell into. So basically any pops in price, I will be looking to get short. If we're trading back up here, if this daily candle will be still being formed by the New York Open tomorrow, if it is green when I wake up, then that's going to tell me a whole lot of stuff too, right? It's going to say that this was probably just a fake out move, a stop run move, and maybe heading higher. We can't tell. We can't tell the future. We just have to wait and see. Bitcoin was unaffected by that move at all. So it is just a dollar move, it looks like. But see, Bitcoin had already been pulling back, but that now we found support. Excuse me. Let me get a drink real quick. Clear my throat. So yesterday in the stream, we were watching these areas down here, right? We had the 8-hour pulled up. We basically said that we were watching this area. There was a line right here. And you can see that. I also said, I don't know why this is all moved, but this is where we were looking. 55,908 for a possible push down into. If we failed up here, we did fail. We did push into that. We are moving higher. So Bitcoin tells a different story than Euro right now. Bitcoin is definitely stronger than the Euro, but it's going to be a gap. If you trade on anything other than Oanda, you're going to see gaps in the FX market. This is why I like to use Oanda, because I don't like gaps. Here's pound dollar. Pound dollar also moving lower. Now, pound dollar has to go all the way down to this wick low right here to get most of the stops. That level is one spot, 37790. You can clearly see that it did not push down that low. Any of these wicks here is the near-term price, but in order to do a legit stop run, this has to come all the way down to here. All right, so this is going to be your near-term bearish target if it decides to continue heading lower. So let's find, this is your support that has so far failed, right? So any pushback up into this area is going to possibly give an opportunity to short, but I would not be looking to do that until the open of London or the open of New York. Like I said, that is when the most volume is thrown down during those two opens. So those two opens generally dictate the daily range or dictate the daily direction. So this is awesome though. I love it when I see big fat candles on the open. Unsuspecting traders get smoked. And it continues lower. You also have a support level right here. Let me clear up some of these lines. This is your near-term support level. This is going to be the support level that's going to come into play here shortly if it continues heading lower. That level is one spot, 38242, simply taken from this bearish closing price right there. You can see that since you put in that bearish candle's closing price, you have not been able to close an 8-hour candle below that level. So that is your support level. There is no subjectivity to that. It is set in stone. Until you get an 8-hour closure below this level, this is your support. And since price is trading up into that area now, we may get a reaction from that level. Well, we will get a reaction from it. It just depends on who is the most aggressive once it gets to that level. Justin Parker, what is happening, my friend? Kenneth Moon, what's up? Heath is kicking it. Yep. I feel like I robbed everybody yesterday, so we're going to get into this tonight. S&P 500 is going to open up probably with a gap to the downside. Well, not this asset, but the SPY and the S&P SPX will probably open up with a gap down. The dollar and this thing have not been so correlated as of late, so it may not be affecting it, but I'm sure it will. I have a level right here, this 8-hour market structure level at 38.73.90. If price gets down into there, I am going to be waiting on 8-hour closure before I make a decision as to what I'm going to look for next on the S&P 500, and you do have a support right below that level as well, 38.65.80. So this is going to be your support zone. The whole area is going to act as a zone. Remember, wick throughs are okay. Closures is what are important. And you should get one of those closures around the London Open or pretty close to it. So if you pull this chart out, you can clearly see that it is bullish. Every single time the bears try to take it lower, it gets bought up. And it has been ever since, well, March of last year, right? So you're just pushing higher. This thing has been absolutely on a tear since the scare. It's just been going one way. So until we are told otherwise by price, you have to keep looking at any dips in price as a bullish opportunity. I understand that the markets are stretched out. I understand that most of these things need a bigger correction, and it would be good to see that, especially on the S&P 500, as it has been doing nothing but going up. This last few weeks, though, it has been pretty range bound. As you can see, it hasn't really made super high prices. I mean, you made another high up here and then was immediately reversed, but they bought that right back up. We made a new high, same scenario on Bitcoin, made a new high on Bitcoin as well, and the price is now pulling back. So I am looking forward on Bitcoin to get some chop pretty soon. Range bound activity would be healthy for that asset. But right now, the S&P 500, this is the level that I'm watching. Once again, at 38.73.90 and 38.65.80. Be watching for 8-hour closures to see what happens there. And there is another support level right underneath that at 38.31.50. All right, so you got to keep an eye on these levels right here for the week to come. We are looking for the weekly expansion to happen. This thing is not open yet. It opens up in an hour. But basically on the euro, you can see that weekly range is already starting to head lower. But I would like to see it head higher because that means the dollar is going to go lower, that's what all the fundamentals are saying. The dollar should be heading lower. But like I said, the markets are going to do what the markets are going to do. The bigger participants in this market, they're going to trade it the way they think it should be traded. And that's why we follow price. So let's go look at Bitcoin real quick one more time because there is something that we were talking about in the chat room this morning. So this is a monthly time frame. All right, monthly time frame. Since you broke out of the old all-time high, you have not had not one corrective month. And by corrective, I mean red. All right, so if we pull up Bitcoin, we got to pull up a lot more data. So Bitstamp is going to have the most data. I'm going to kick this on the log so you can see what I was talking about. So this is the move up above the old all-time high. These lines, just pay them no mind, as that's what we were talking about, support and resistance levels to watch. But basically what I'm talking about, this was your all-time high all the way through Bitcoin's price action on a monthly chart. Once you break out of an old all-time high, you make a new all-time high, you have a couple months of correction, right? Broke out above this all-time high, couple months of correction. Broke out above this one, same thing, correction. This one, not yet. Not yet. When or where is it going to start correcting? I have no clue. But if you're looking for Bitcoin entries, if you're looking to put buying positions on Bitcoin, I suggest you wait on a monthly close, a bearish monthly close. That would be a great spot to put a little risk on Bitcoin instead of buying the top of a bullish candle, right? Because you know a pullback is imminent at some point. It's going to happen. Nobody wants it to happen. Obviously, we always want this thing to just go straight up for the rest of our lives, but that isn't what's going to happen. You are going to get a monthly candle that is going to be red possibly soon. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Going back to off the log chart, you just pull it out. You can see how insane this move has been since you broke out of the $20,000 area. You are a good 200% off of that high. This is an insane move with hardly any corrections. I mean, you got a wick there and a wick there, but that's not really a correction. A few red monthly candles slowly drifting to the downside would probably get picked up. All right. But we have to wait and see on that. But just don't be buying it up here, please, because buying all-time highs is not a great strategy, guys. Not a great strategy. Now, the other thing I wanted to look at is USD CAD. Obviously, if the dollar's going to get some strength, this is an asset you can look at to possibly buy. It is in a downtrend, a long-term downtrend, has been going down ever since March of 2020. It's been straight down, all right? This last push lower was due to CAD strength because of oil moving higher. So if oil starts to chill out a little bit, which I think it will if the dollar starts heading higher, that's just going to be more fuel on the fire for an asset like this right here. All right, just checking and make sure everything's good. Everything's good. No drop frames, man. What? That's so great. All right. So basically, I'm going to be watching USD CAD. Let's go get some levels, some pullback levels to look to enter positions for long trades if the dollar remains strong. I don't really see anything yet. So we may have to let this thing chill out a little bit. There is an hourly candle right there that you can strike a line with right there. And it's a little bit close to this trend line, which I'm not really paying attention to that trend line. It's only there as I was making the support and resistance video today. So that's why that line is there. Let me see what's going on with this. All right, that's working just fine. So yeah, USD CAD, I'm going to be watching it. And the one I like the best, and the reason why, is going to be the USD JPY. Now, this push lower on the USD JPY is obviously yen strength. All right. Yen has been going straight down. Let me pull that chart up and then we'll finish right here. So we took this short up here. We were watching this all the way up here. We got short and we've been killing this trade. So it had a long ways to go to the downside and it has been consolidating down here. So I'm looking at this only as a pullback. All right. I'm not looking at yen strength to come in because of risk off. I'm looking at yen strength to come in to find higher or lower high support or resistance. So you would get a lower high somewhere around this area, 93.50. You have a bullish doji candle there, and I don't really like dojis, but it's all we got. You would close this gap too, so that's a good area to watch for possible yen strength or weakness to kick back in. All right, so let's go back to the USD JPY. And this is going to be for all yen pairs, guys. Aussie yen, euro yen, pound yen. They're all going to be having these bearish price action because of the yen strength, more so than the Aussie and euro weakness. All right, with that euro USD push down is probably just dollar strength. So I think USD yen is the best looking asset for bullish continuation, for this trend to continue. Now, why has the USD JPY been going up like this? Well, I'm going to tell you why. I think it's been going up, but I absolutely could be wrong. Interest rates in Japan are negative. Our interest rates are moving higher. So there is a carry trade on this. As long as the our interest rates are higher, meaning the USD interest rates are higher than the yen's interest rates, then you can simply buy USD JPY, not hoping price to move higher, but for the carry trade, just for the carry trade. That's why I think this thing has been so hot coming out of the gate. You did break out above a trend line here, so that would be a little bit of short covering as well. But I'm looking at this to get long. First daily levels all the way down here. I'm not thinking that it's going to pull back all the way down to there. So let's go find a level about the midpoint. There we go, right there. We have a 4-hour structure right here. So that would also get us up underneath this wick low, which was the lowest 4-hour candle close, right? Boom. So that's going to be support when price gets back down into there. If you get a wick through there to this level, 107 spot 988, I will be looking for bullish entries there. All right? Because we will be taking out all these stops. This, as long as the interest rates are higher than Japan's interest rates, I believe A lot of big money is going to be looking at this as a carry trade. So I'm only looking for this to move higher. This is going to be a pullback, a much needed pullback, as this thing has been on fire as well. So look for possible support holds at either 108 spot 284 or 107 spot 988. If you get a 4-hour closure below this lower line here, they're looking lower for a better risk to reward. All right, this is not a sellable asset just yet. So as long as you're trading above, I would say this last hourly closing candle right there, that would be my last line in the sand to look for bullish entries, and that's 107 spot 598. As long as we're trading above this level, I will be looking to buy this asset. Let me check out the comments real quick, as I have been just talking and talking. How about Swiss franc and Japanese yen? Yeah, Kimmy Basics, Japanese yen and Swiss franc are both going to have some pullback. They both were extremely weak coming up into last week. If you remember, I was watching Euro Swiss and Euro yen as a hedge play. Let's go look at Euro Swiss real quick just to see how that thing opened up. Yep, there you go. Boom, big push lower. All right. You have cleared out stops there, so this is not a high probable entry yet. We need this thing to close lower than this level. This is an hourly, though. Let's go to an 8-hour. See what we got on an 8-hour. All right, so your 8-hour support is all the way up here at around 1 spot 10, 105, 1 spot 105 right here. So, yeah, if this 8-hour closes down here, look to see what happens on a pushback up to this area right there at 101 spot 10506. See if that holds as resistance. All right, see if that area holds as resistance. If you're looking to get short this asset, you can even possibly look to short it all the way up here, which would give a better risk to reward, in my opinion, if this is going to roll over. That level is 1 spot 10640. So we come down, smoke all the stops here, right? Then head higher. Make everyone think that it's going to head higher. If you fail here on an hourly closing basis, I would look to get short. Heading lower, target this wick low all the way down here. But you got a lot of work to do before that's even a thing that we're talking about. But that's what it looks like right now. Like I said, as of right now, the Swiss franc weakness, or the Swiss franc strength and the yen strength, has to be looked at as a pullback only. All right. Now, I didn't look at the news, so I have no idea what kind of news. Thanks for the watching for crypto. Da ding West Mint WhatsApp. The WhatsApp dudes are back. So let's get rid of this guy. Give me 1 second. All right, so what's up, Jay Bradley? Hey, Brandon, sit back and sip a rum with the crew. Oh, is Brandon here too? I didn't see him. There's a G. All right. So moving forward, and you got to look at yen strength, especially at the beginning of the week. Look for yen strength to be a pullback only. Look for Swiss franc strength to be a pullback only. If you get a failure up here, that could be looked at as an area. I'm hoping I timed out the right guy. I don't see the WhatsApp stuff no more, so I guess I did. All right, that's good. What's up, Brandon? There you are. If Dogecoin reaches $1, I'm going to chop off my penis and get a 9-incher. Brother, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. You can buy me one too if you want. That would be great. All right. So Aussie CAD's rolling over. This is Aussie weakness. CAD was extremely strong last week. So is CAD going to remain strong? We don't know. This is a lower high. That's why it's being sold into. I was thinking that it was going to roll over, but this push higher made me a little bit skeptical on getting short up here. And I was watching Aussie yen too. Everything's doing good right now. Everything's looking like we're going to get some setups this week. Definitely want to see this thing get out of this range right here. It's a bigger, longer term range. because you went up, made this high, and you're pushing down into it. No, that's not. What is that? What is going on here? These lines are crazy. That ain't a range. This thing's been going straight down. So we could throw a trend line on it now. Right there. Don't like that one. Let's use that one. See what happens there. As long as you're trading under that trend line, look for short opportunities. Any bullish candles, you look to get short on those babies. Shadow Supra, you might come to regret this. I think I just heard you say don't buy Bitcoin in the middle of a bull market cycle. How about you go back to this time in the last bull market, see how many red months there were. I just did that, my friend, so you must just be getting here. All right, we'll go back and look at it. I'm not afraid, but let's go look at it on Bitstamp because Coinbase doesn't have enough data. So let's go on the log chart, hit the monthly time frame as the levels are already there for you, as I already went through this. Every single time, bro, every single time Bitcoin has broke out of an all-time high, made a new all-time high, you have had monthly pullback candles. Broke out, all-time high, monthly red candles. New breakout, new all-time high, monthly red candles. New breakout, no monthly red candles yet. You will get them. You will get them. I promise you. I don't know when or at what price, but you will start getting a monthly red candle here or there. This thing isn't just going to print 17 more monthly green candles, guys. I mean, it would be nice. I'm a Bitcoin bull, so the more the green candles, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just saying, look where you are right now. You're about to test an all-time high, and you want to buy there. That's up to you. You can buy however you want. I'm just telling the people that listen to me and that follow me to wait on a red monthly candle. What's wrong with that? Just have a little bit of patience. You might get a better entry. And then Bitcoin can roll out to the upside and hit those insane price targets. Insane price targets. They're not far on a log chart. They're not far on a log chart. And then if you look at it just simply on the regular standard chart, you can see how nasty of a move that was since we broke out of this all-time high, the old one. Just been straight up, all right? You've got a couple weekly red pullbacks, but no monthly yet. And that's all I'm saying. I hope it goes higher. I hope it don't get any monthly candle pullbacks, but you got to be a realist in this industry if you expect to make money. All right. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So Euro Yen was also on a tear, moving higher because of yen weakness. But this is going to be looked at as a yen strength for just a pullback only. You haven't taken out any higher structures yet. You got a support level right here at 128 spot 891. You need to close a daily below that before you can really start to look for short entries, because this is just a pullback in an uptrend still as of yet. All right. So anything underneath this trend line, then you can look for shorting opportunities. I don't know if I would buy it either. I would let it see what happens. You do have a wick low right here that could be in the target as of right now, but that's just going to be one day or two tops before you're down there if it's going to head lower. But this is what we need. We can't just have everything going up. We need pullbacks to get long if we want to continue a bullish trend. It's going to be a dollar story. It is going to be a dollar story. That's for sure. Can we have a look at shiny metals? Curious to hear your thoughts. Absolutely. Let's go look at gold first, as gold is been moving down. And I believe, now I don't know, I'm not saying that I'm thinking I'm right or anything, but I believe the reason gold's been going down is because people have been looking at Bitcoin as that inflation hedge. Whereas they used to look at gold as the inflation hedge, it looks to me like more or less that the Bitcoin's going up higher, right? So you have to be able to change with the markets. You can't just continue to think that, like for instance, gold is the hedge against inflation, so I'm going to buy gold. It may be turning around right here, and technically, this thing is still in an uptrend. I mean, this is a weekly chart. This was a long time of pulling back. And you did close below this opening price of the bearish candle, but you did not close below the support at the bottom. You tested it. So are you just moving up for sellers to re-engage, or has gold found a bottom? We were looking at gold to find a bottom 2 weeks ago. All right, I'll take you back to where that was. It was around here, I think, or here. We were looking at the volume structure because the volume was going up. So we were looking at it to be getting ready to turn around. But we got one more push to the downside. All right. So anybody that got long because of that got stopped out, unfortunately. You have been oversold. You are pulling back. But the near-term trend is still to the downside. All right. You did get a daily close above this last bullish daily candle, which is a good thing, right? This is a good thing. So this close above means you broke above that resistance, which would have been resistance right there. You broke above, you closed above. Then you tested it, you closed below it, but currently you're working on to see what's going to happen. So if this daily candle starts to head higher, yes, I possibly think that would be okay to look for pullback entries to get long on gold. If the dollar is going to continue up, though, this is probably going to be sold into. All right. Remember, in downtrends, moves up get sold into until that changes. You can put a trend line on it if you want to be on the safe side of things right here. All right. Get a daily closure above there. And then the next day, make sure it's not a fake out candle heading straight back down to the downside like a big bearish engulfing or an outside day candle. So for instance, this thing closed above. Next day, big bearish candle to the downside. That means that got sold. Any pops in price from that point will look to get sold into even harder. You close above this trend line strong to the upside, look for a resistance or a support area to look to get long on gold, as you will be breaking out of this downtrend structure. All right. So gold is looking good. Gold looks a lot better right now than it did a week ago, right? Or 2 weeks ago. It's looking good. It's being constructive. It looks better. But like I said, this is going to be a selling opportunity for gold shorts. For gold shorts. I am not a gold short. I am not a gold short. So I'm not saying I'm getting short on this. I'm just saying market participants will be looking at this as an opportunity to get short, and they will be targeting this low down here for another leg to the downside. But this daily candle that was Friday's close, by the way. It's not today. So we have to wait and see how gold opens. If the dollar's moving up, this is probably going to be opening up down here around 1730. So kind of wait on gold. Give it a day or two. Let it suss stuff out. You know what I'm saying? This thing's opening up with dollar strength, or the market's opening up with dollar strength. We don't necessarily want to look to buy gold right in front of dollar strength, right? I think my favorite pair moving forward going into the week is USD Yen. Like I said, because you can just buy it for the carry trade if nothing else, just because the interest rate's difference. You know what I'm saying? So this pullback on this asset I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities. The last place I will look for buying opportunities is 107.598. Once again, if we get down here and we start closing candles below this area, then we're heading lower and possibly turning around, as this is still longer term, also in a downtrend, longer term. So any short sellers are going to be looking at this as a good risk to reward now. Down here, to get short ain't so much of a good risk to reward. Getting short up here, pretty good risk to reward. You can put your risk right above that weekly candle's high, and you got a decent little setup there. But interest rates are driving the market right now, which is why I'm looking for bullish entries on this asset for this week to come. And Aussie NZD, this thing's been chopping around. At the beginning of last week, I put out on Twitter, on YouTube, everything in the chat room that I was looking to get long on this. Let me go to a daily so I can show you exactly where. I know there's a lot of lines on the chart right now. Let me get rid of some of them so I can show you what I'm talking about here for anybody just joining in. All right, so this one too, goodbye. This was the target, 108, 1.08430. This was the target. When this candle was being formed on Monday, I said this is your support level. As long as you're not closing a daily candle below this line, might be a good opportunity for bullish entries targeting this yellow line. This yellow line's target was simply this wick high. That's why it was the target. All right. So you have buy stops up here for anybody that got short. Their order to get out of the market is a buy market order. That means there are willing buyers at a higher price. I love selling my position to those buyers. All right. So that's why I said look for bullish entries on this. It was choppy and range bound for a couple days, but then we had this big push. Boom. Almost took the target out in one day. The next day we did. That's when I exited my position, as it is at highs as well. So there's no high probable entry once you do this. All right. There is no high probable entry once this occurs. Once you take out the stops, there's no high probable entry. You have to wait for pullbacks to get long again if it wants to head higher. All right. So this is today. So it looks like we had a push lower and so far is being retraced. But the NZD sometimes trades like a cryptocurrency. Sometimes it does, man. It's crazy. But that target was taken out, and I just wanted to basically show that because, hey, when you're right, you're right. And we were right. So anybody that took that trade, congratulations, as that's what it looks like. That's how you do it. Moving on, I'm going to wait to see what this does. All right. If we start trading higher than the target, then this asset has probably switched back to the bullish side of things, and we can look for higher targets, as there just happens to be one. Boop. Right there. All right. So that will be our next target if this thing is not able to close below at least this 3-day closure. All right. This candle closes in 23 hours. So tomorrow at this time, this candle will be closing. If it's closing above this line here, 107701, 1.07701, maybe still bullish. All right. Maybe still bullish. Maybe heading to here. But we'll have to wait and see. And I will let you know if I decide to enter that trade again. And that's pretty much all I got on the FX side of things. Because, yeah, everything else is basically trading against itself. So we had a fire session this morning. I did a live stream for the members. So that was pretty cool. Did a lot of talking about some stuff. So whatever you guys want to look at, drop it in the chat and I will take a look at it for you. Heath, when do you suggest looking at 3-day versus weekly versus monthly chart? When we get closer to going vertical, I won't have the patience to wait for a monthly close. That entry may be too late. Yeah, that's part of trading, Mark. To be honest with you, man, that's part of trading. I can teach you technical analysis, like the technical analysis that I use, price action analysis. That doesn't mean that it's going to help you become a better trader. What I'm teaching you is basically giving you a shortcut so that way you can backtest the data that I'm telling you for yourself. And then you take that information and build a strategy, a profitable strategy for yourself. All right. We were kind of talking about that this morning as well. I look at, the 3-day is what I consider to be an intra-week candle, right? So like if I'm looking at a daily candle and I'm looking to trade the daily range expansion on a swing trade, I might be looking to trade the weekly range expansion. So in order to get a better idea as to what's going on, I look at a 3-day chart just because, you got 3 days to make this thing close. This one just happens to close tomorrow, but yeah, basically it's hard to wait on a 3-day close. I understand. But you can currently see on pound dollar, your 3-day support is all the way up there. And the fact that you're trading all the way down here, not so good. But if this thing closes back above this level, you have to look at this as buying happening. There's no other thing to say about it. But there's always traps even. You know what I mean? Even if you get the 3-day close above, you can always, the next session can always change direction. The markets are traded second by second, not on anything that happened in the past, basically. It's being traded on where it is right now. People are taking trades based upon what they see on the chart right now. All right? So that's why you get these sideways, choppy, taking out stops on both sides of the market happening. When it's doing that, it's best to sit back and wait. Like this nonsense right here, Thought this was a short opportunity, right? But now it's right back up into that area. As you did not close the daily back above that area, shorts got re-engaged. They looked at that as a sign of weakness and got back engaged. And right now, they are currently tussling with a daily buy zone right there at 1.38378 on the pound dollar. So in order for me to get bearish on this, not only do I want to see a close below this level, I also want to see a close below the support that's just right below it. All right, which is just the lowest closing bearish candles price since you made the close. That is your support. It's the last bearish closing price since you were at this price. Everything else traded to it but couldn't close through it, right? Traded to it but couldn't close through it. So this one is currently trying to trade through it. Let's see if it closes through it. If it does, that can help us get a bias, looking for short side setups for the week to come, looking for an intra-week range expansion, or if you're like me, just looking for daily range expansions. I do swing trade these things too, guys. Like I said, I got in pound yen way back when it was all the way down here, pretty much, or somewhere in this area. I can't remember exactly where because I don't have my broker or that broker pulled up, so I can't look. But yeah, that's a swing trade. You know what I mean? I entered it on a day trade, real close to the low of the day, got in it long. Once it hit my target, took 2/3 of my position off, moved my stop to break even, and let that thing ride. I have been stopped out now because I had it right up above this low, this stop. You know what I mean? So this push down Friday took me out of that trade. And that's okay because I made money on both of them, both entries. It was one entry, but it turned into 2 trades. A daily scalp turned into a swing trade. And that's what I'm always trying to do. Always. It just doesn't always work out like that. So, but the pound yen's pulling back. Pulling back. If you're still bullish on this thing, it's going to give you an entry. It's going to give you an entry. I don't like that one. Let's do it differently. Let's use this one. And this way. No, that's just too parabolic. It's got to pull back. It's got to settle down, right? So this is your first daily area that you're going to find support, possibly, right here, 150.025. It's at least going to be tested. Unable to close the daily below the level may be a buying opportunity if this thing is going to remain bullish to the upside. It has been very bullish for a very long time. You were trading above oversold for a long time, right? And you can clearly see bearish divergence on the RSI since you made this high right here, February the 24th. Everything else was a lower high on the RSI. That's bearish divergence. But this could have already been played out on this move that we're having right now. All right. So if they were selling this as the bearish divergence, that move has been played out. This is where they're going to take profits unless they're looking for this thing to head lower for a long time. It's possible. Anything's possible. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, man. I would be a trillionaire, not a billionaire. I wouldn't just stop at a billion. I would go all the way. Heath, can you look at the Nasdaq? Says it. Jeeth, yes, I can, my friend. Well, yes, I can. Let me go pull that up for you. I think I just have the futures. So it's not open. It's not going to open yet. I'm not exactly sure. This is the E-mini futures, but I can give you some levels, some structural levels to look at. Let me get rid of all the lines and let's start fresh. So obviously the Nasdaq looks terrible in comparison to the S&P 500. That's because the Nasdaq is heavily weighted in technology. And if you've been paying attention to the markets recently, you know that technology has been getting crushed, as well as the growth stocks such as Tesla and everything else that's in the same category. So this is heavily weighted to that side. This is going to be looked at as a high or a lower high currently. All right, because here was your support. Or resistance. I don't like this gap, so let's use this instead. I wish I had the same asset that I do on the S&P 500, but so this was your resistance, right? You didn't even test it before sellers re-engaged. Boom, came down, took out this area first. All right, this would have been your first buy zone, and look how price just said, nuh-uh, not having it. It sliced all the way through and took out the support. The support would have been the underneath side of that candle. So that's gone. Friday, you traded up, a small range day, not an inside day, because you did take out this low, all right, but it is a small range day. So you can look for this range or this candle's high or low to be taken out probably tomorrow. As of right now, you got to fight with resistance. This is resistance, right? It's got to get above that. Let's go look at an 8 hour and see if we can do better. All right, so yeah, your 8 hour level was tested already. So basically, from the daily being up here and the 8 hour being roughly pretty close to it, if you get a big bullish close on an 8 hour basis above 13,000, this level here, because 13,000 is also a big figure number. People also sell at the big figure numbers. So if you get a push up to there and a close above the level, then maybe buyers have re-entered the market. With the euro heading lower, with the yen heading higher, the dollar's going to be heading higher. I'm going to go ahead and jump out on a limb and assume this thing is probably going to gap down tomorrow. All right, it's probably going to gap down, possibly, unless something comes out over the night and pushes this thing right back up there. So currently, it looks weak. It's still longer term and an uptrend. So this area was a buying opportunity. This area could be looked at as a buying opportunity if you're looking at longer term hold strategies, like hodl strategies. If you're just looking for entries for 10 years down the road, now's a good spot. You know what I mean? Because they could buy this. They could buy this, absolutely. This could head higher. It's just with everything going on right now, with the data we know right now, it's probably going to head lower for now. There's not really anything to test either, as that's a big range candle. So here's your 4 hour level to watch for support. Boom, right there. 1, 2, 4, 3, 4. Right here, this bearish 4 hour candle. If price closes below this support level, this is your last bearish closing price. You have not closed a candle below that, so that is your near-term support. If you lose 12,740, you're heading possibly down here to 1240, 12,434. That's only if you lose this area. As of right now, that area is holding as clear support. And the fact that this bearish candle closed pretty far away from the level, and then your next 4 hour candle was a strong bullish engulfing candle or an outside range, as you did close above the opening price of this bearish candle, this could be a pullback right now. They could be buying this, or when it opens. It's not open right now, but you see what I'm saying? This candle right here, watch that area. That's your near term right now when the market opens levels to watch. 4 hour closures below this, you're heading lower. 4 hour closures above this, look for high or low support for long entries. Check out the chat. USD Turkish Lira. That's not a pair that I trade often. I have traded it in the past, but it's not really something that I'm like looking at all the time. We'll look at Oanda, and I'm going to back this thing up. Jeebus. Yeah, that's that bullish strength, my friend. I mean, dollar strength, sorry. Damn, that thing took a hell of a beating. Oof. See, the euro did not open nowhere near that strong. But this thing's weak. The Turkish lira is just weak, always weak. Massive candle. Massive bullish candle. Damn, dude. Were you long on that thing, FD? If you were, you made a hell of a trade. I can just tell you that. Nice. Nice. This looks like the dollar's going to be heading stronger this week, guys. So, as of right now, it's looking like everything's going to be looking... We're going to be looking for short side setups on dollar pairings and possible yen pairings as well. Does anybody know what kind of news came out? If news came out that caused this? Because I was busy all day trying to get the stream situated so it would be clear. So I wasn't paying attention to any news. I very seldom ever do pay attention to news, but something like this, something's going on. That's insane. That's an insane open candle. Massive candle. Sorry, I was getting a drink. I don't know if you want to trade this. Let me go find some levels. You can see that it's been so long since I've used it because there's a box. I don't use boxes anymore. I haven't used them for a long time. This is an old school or whatever. I don't even know what it was. So you close below your level here. I would have gotten stopped out, man. I would have damn sure been looking to short this on a pullback. So did everybody else. That's why this candle's so big. You know what I mean? You stopped everybody out here. Monster move to the upside. Boom. USD's very much stronger than the Turkish Lira right now. So look for pullbacks. This is probably going to have a reversion, a mean reversion, because this was such an explosive move. Obviously, I don't expect this thing to just continue higher. Look for a small pullback. You're not going to find any levels in this big candle because as soon as it opened, it was there, basically. There's an hourly, even on a 5-minute, boom. See what I'm saying? There is no levels to find. So what I do in this scenario, how I do this, if you're wondering, is I use my fib retracement tool. I just plot the high to the low. All right, boom. There's your, no, I did that the wrong way. Apologies. 618 needs to be lower. So let's go up with it. Basically, I'm just looking for the 50% retracement level. That's what I want. Right there it is. So what I do is I take a line and I just match it up as close as I can to that. Boom. And then I get rid of all this nonsense because I don't need any more of it. Right? And there you go. So watch price around 7.82073. As long as you're closing 8-hour candles above that, might be an area to look for bullish entries. But everything's already been stopped out. So your target would have to be all the way up here, which would be a hell of a trade. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, man, this could just be, we don't know. Is it a fake out? Probably not. Something that big, that massive, probably not a fake out. Probably not. So see where you find support. It's going to take a few days to find support. All right. Not tonight. Possibly not even tomorrow night. That's a monster candle. Monster candle. So just watch 7.82073, my friend. Just watch this level right here. And then if you do get a bullish entry, if it does look like it's heading higher, you'll be targeting this up here. The first target will obviously be wherever this thing tops out at. That will be your first target. Can you look at silver? Absolutely. I think I got sidetracked. Did I even finish gold? Yeah, I finished gold. XAU, XAG. Let's go check it out. Let's look at the CFD. So this opens in 3 minutes. So it's going to be funny to see what this thing does. Going to be funny to see what this thing does. Probably going to be like, boom, down here. So I was bullish on this when we had that bullish pop. I had this XAU, XAG. This is gold, silver. I need XAG, USD. I was not short this thing. Sorry, guys. My brain's in another time zone, obviously. There we go. When we had this bullish pop, I thought we were going to come down, find support, and head higher. So on this push lower, I bought out of the money $30 calls that were like at the time a month dated for the expiration, and you can clearly see that those calls expired worthless. They were out of the money calls. I was looking for it to head higher, so yeah, I lost. This thing rolled over when the dollar pushed higher. You have been trading range bound ever since. This is the bottom end of your range, and it is still that until, well, 1 minute. We'll see where this thing is. If it's all the way down to here, I wouldn't doubt it a bit. So we'll have to see here. But these were your areas to watch. Unfortunately, it's just been chopping around, not really moving at all since this sell right there. So we did take out that big move to the upside, not on a closing basis, but you did take it out nonetheless. You retraced the whole move, and it looked like it was going to head higher. But this kind of action right here just tells me that it's not strong. And if it's not strong, then it must be weak, right? Must be weak. So looks like people were selling it. It was making higher highs and higher lows as it was running up. But this is just like almost a slow retracement, so to speak. It's not like showing any strength. So I don't like this level here. This must be a daily level. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they open at 7 o'clock. Because it didn't do anything. No, there it is. Wow, it didn't do anything. Nothing. There it is. That's your big bearish candle on silver. Not doing nothing. So maybe this run is a stop out. Maybe the Euro USD is going to head higher. So let's look at silver for higher targets. The reason I'm saying higher targets is simply because this thing should have opened up way down here, right? Like the pound did, like Euro did, but it didn't. So let's take that knowledge. This is a daily level. I was just there, but I forgot to mention it because I was waiting on it to open. Right here. All right, that's your daily candle. You can see you couldn't get up in it. That's where they started to sell it. All right. This candle's range took out the high of this candle, not the low. So this is still looking good. This bullish push off from the lows looks good. You can see these are all daily candles, and the bodies are just in a range. It's disgusting. So your near-term support is this bearish candle because it's the lowest closing one. So if silver slowly drifts down to here, watch this level first and then this level for buying opportunities, possibly, right? Because this should have been trading lower. Since it's not, we have to take that as some kind of sign for something. Now, if I wake up in the morning and it has taken out these two levels, then obviously I'm not looking for buying opportunities because the sellers have been in control of this market. Ever since this bullish pop, the sellers have been in control of this market. The bulls have not been able to do anything with it. So you still have to say that they are because you're not above this level. This is going to be your first major area to get a daily closure above, and that'll put you right at, let me get it on there, 26.75. So you need a daily close above that level, to say the least. Any pushes down into here and showing failure on a smaller time frame chart could be an entry. Could be. I don't like range bound markets, man. I think there's better opportunities elsewhere, but it doesn't look terrible. It just doesn't look great either. So I'm going to stay away from gold and silver for now. Gold looks like it may have put in a low. So if gold put in a low, chances are silver did too. You can clearly see that silver is so much stronger than gold because gold's been trading down. Silver's been trading sideways to up. So it is stronger than gold. So I guess if you are looking for bullish entries, I would probably rather look for bullish entries on this asset as it is stronger than gold. But let's see if gold put in a low. If gold put in a low, that's going to tell you a lot about silver too. So it's okay not to enter a trade down here. You don't have to think that you're going to miss it either. You know what I mean? So just wait. Watch your smaller time frames. And when I'm talking smaller time frames, I mean like 4 hour. You don't want to see 4 hour closures below this support level. If you get that, then I don't like it long anymore. If you hit it and reject, then yeah, maybe I do take a long entry targeting this wick high right there. But that would put you right into that buy or sell zone again. But technical analysis is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Not any stretch of the imagination. Can you tell... Mr. Ben Fernandez says, can you tell Bitcoin to pump, please? I've been on the trading sidelines for a while now. Still hodling. Yes, let me go do that right now for you, my friend. Right now. Bitcoin, go up. There. We'll see how it works. See how it works. I told it, so you can't tell me I didn't. Turks also replaced one of their top guys with someone super dovish. So that's probably why we got such a massive move on that. Thank you, Juice, for the heads up. I really appreciate it. Interest rate hike on Thursday to 19%. Sacked a central bank manager on Friday. I'm assuming for Jonathan Terry, I'm assuming you're speaking of a different currency other than the dollar. Because the dollar, they didn't raise the interest rates on the dollar. Let me see here. Tried down because the Turkish president found central bank shift. USD Yen, please. Robert Robust Rockstar. I did it earlier, but I'll do it again because I feel like I basically cheated everybody yesterday. I am bullish on this asset. Robust Rockstar. The reason I'm bullish on this asset is for the carry trade alone. That is enough for me to look for bullish entries on it. As the Japanese yen, their interest rates are below negative, and our interest rates are currently climbing, right? So let me pull that up real quick so you can see the TNX climbing higher. That's not the TNX. Thank you very much. So it's looking like it's heading to 2%. So you have that 2%, right, for the carry trade. So that's why I think that it's been going up. Now, I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. But we know this much for sure. We had a descending trend line, and we broke out of that with strength, massive strength. So it's the near term, at least once you put in this low back in January, the yearly range. This is your yearly opening range. All right. And for anybody on TradingView that pays for at least the pro plan, if you want to look at a yearly chart, you just simply type 12 and hit the Y. Or no, it's 12M, 12 months. That is your yearly candles. Boom, right? Yearly candles. You can see that it put in a low in January, right there. I was looking at the wrong candle. So this is your yearly opening range, all right? Your low has been set in stone. So you can get tradable ideas from that. Basically, I'm looking for bullish entries. The levels that I am watching, my friend, is the near term. The very, very near term is 108.284. I think we had a 4-hour level there. Yes, and it was just simply this support from this 4-hour bearish candle. That's the last time you closed down at that price. Then we have a 4-hour level right below it at 107.988. And then the last level that I'll watch for bullish entries is 107.598. All right. If we start closing 4-hour candles below this area is an hourly bearish candle. That's all it is. I'll go show you real quick right there. All right. That's where I got the level from. So, but basically, if we get a 4-hour closure below that level, I'm not going to look for bullish entries. But I do like it to the upside. This is still strong in my opinion. This was just trading sideways for the last few days while the yen was rolling over. Here is the Japanese yen, or not rolling over, but starting to curve upwards as it was being sold off tremendously. We capitalized on this move to the downside. We've already taken out our targets, our profits, everything. I am not in any yen trades currently. I got stopped out of the pound yen trade for Friday or Thursday. So it looks like it's trying to find a bottom. But any push up in the yen index, because it's still in a downtrend, is going to be looked at as a selling opportunity. The first level that I'm watching is this 93.50, as you will close this gap as well. I don't really care about gaps. I just bring it up. We have gap up here. It's never been filled yet either. So I don't trade for gap fillage. The reason that I'm looking for this level is because that's your last bullish 4-hour candle in the trend to the downside. All right, so that's why I'm looking at that area. So if the yen gets up in here, also you're going to probably be a few days before you're ever trading up here. You're also going to get some confluence with this descending trend line that comes in from the high that was made back, you guessed it, in January. So this is your yearly opening range on this as well. I don't really look at yearly opening ranges too much, as I am a near-term trader, but I have heard other older traders say that the yearly opening range usually finds a bottom within the first 4 months of the year, so take that with a grain of salt, please. Am I saying that this is the low for all of 2021 on the Japanese yen? Absolutely not. But I have heard older traders say stuff like that. Like on your weekly ranges, you usually have your weekly high or your weekly low by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. On the monthly, it's the same thing. You usually have your monthly high or your monthly low no later than 2 weeks into that monthly candle session. So basically going into all the way to a yearly opening range, they say about 3 to 4 months you will have your high or your low. So maybe a low or the high. It could be either one. That's why I don't focus too much on that stuff. It was just a little bit of a nugget. You could take from it whatever you wish. But yeah, as long as we're trading below this descending trend line on the yen currency index, I will be looking to target bullish trades. But my favorite bullish trade on the yen is indeed USD JPY, because our interest and their interest rates are below zero. So the carry trade on this asset is to the upside. And another thing, since this is important, since the United States of America put their interest rates down close to zero, there hasn't been any carry trades on any assets. Because the interest rates were so close together, there is no carry trade. So you can't just own one asset against another just for specifically to make money from the interest rates, the spread of the interest rates. So that's why, right? If you look back in the day when we had a high interest rate and everybody else had low ones, these things would trend great. Now it seems like they do a lot of range-bound chopping action, except for the dollar. The dollar did put in a nice trend at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, to the downside. We capitalized on the Euro USD heading up. We may be rolling over. Who knows? But that's your yearly high up there. If this thing isn't taking out this weekly level by at least Tuesday, closing a couple dailies below it, it may be heading higher. But that dollar strength, so far you're, retracing the move. But the market just opened. All right, just opened, just now. So there really isn't nothing to do. I don't really seldom ever take trades on Sunday because there really isn't any trades to take. Because there's no high probable setups. Now, if I'm looking at an area at a high probable setup and it happens during the Asian Open, I have taken trades there before. I just haven't in a long time. So let me check some other stuff out. I hope that helps, Robert. Or Robust Rockstar. Apologies. Right, okay, so Tom in Seattle is saying it's the Lira's interest rates. Got you. Yeah, that's a massive spike on that candle. And what's up, Tom? How are you doing, by the way? Sorry I didn't say it earlier. Or yeah, Justin was telling you that we went over it, but I did it anyways. Sorry for all you guys that have been seeing me go over the USD JPY like 8 times already. When you have some time, can you check the crypto mining stocks, Riot and Mara, says C Lands. Absolutely. Let's go look at Riot first, as Riot is everybody's rock star, the favorite. So basically, I can pull up the financials on this thing for you and show you that this company is absolute dog crap, but they have been aiming to put more of their book in Bitcoin. So obviously, and it is a miner, but it used to not be a miner. They just turned into a miner once Bitcoin started making all-time highs back in 2017. So I don't really like it, but the clear trend is to the upside. All right, so to me, it looks exactly like Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, this is going to do more than likely. All right, you are struggling right here, but since it's a stock and it has gaps in price, you did get a daily closure above that bearish closing price right there. So we'll have to wait and see. Currently, is it a buying area? I don't like to buy it up here. because the first target would have to be this wick high, and you got a target for bears at this wick low. So you're currently in the middle of the range of this bullish candle. So there is no near-term high probable trade to take until you either get up here or down here, right? So what I would suggest is wait to see if this breaks out of this range. We will call this range this and this. And those prices are 64 spot 85. Oh my God, I remember when this thing was trading at $3. Man, what I missed that. I missed out on that. And then the low end of the range is 54 spot 80. All right. In the middle of this, in my opinion, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot stick. Now, if we start to head lower, which would be good, kind of. I mean, people would be looking at this as a lower high, so not that good. But you do have a level to look for support at 42 spot 20. That would be a good area to buy, especially if you're looking for longer term holds. You could put your stop against that wick low. Only risk 1% of your total account's equity. So that way if you get stopped out, you didn't lose much. And you have a nice 3 or 4% to get up to the upside from this area. So that to me looks like a good bullish opportunity as far as risk to reward is concerned. Let's throw us a little thing here to show you what I'm talking about if you're not following along. There you go, 4.47. So I was close. But that's what you look for. Stuff like that. Because that's what you look for. But if Bitcoin starts to roll over, which I'm not saying it is, this thing's going to roll over too. I don't see anything in here because of the gaps. And I don't think I'll find anything on... Yeah, not much. Not much, man. So, yeah, that's what I would be watching. Unfortunately, I don't have much for you, or more for you. Let me go look at Mara, see if I'm sure it looks a little bit different. Let's go back into the daily. Actually, no, it looks exactly the same. Looks exactly the same. Man, I cannot believe I missed out on these moves. Damn it. That's a monster move up. Yeah. You're at resistance right now. Well, you closed at resistance on Friday. All right. You didn't close above it. You closed below it. So that says that there may be a little bit of weakness in it. But this was a strong bullish move, right? You were trading lower. Then you found support roughly around the midpoint of this bullish candle. So there's probably something in there. Found support right there, and then you moved up. This could just be a pullback. So watch about the midpoint of that candle. If you start closing hourly candles below 39.72-ish, it's probably heading lower. Now, obviously, it's bullish. I mean, I wouldn't be looking to short it. I would be only looking for buying opportunities on it. It's the same thing as Bitcoin. It looks exactly like Bitcoin. It's going to do what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin starts to head lower. Everybody that's in this is going to head for the hills. They're going to jump out of it. Hope that helps, Sealand. Sorry. Heath, I missed a morning session. Is there any notification on Discord or that I need to monitor so I won't miss sessions? Basically, I put it in the community tab on the YouTube channel. Mark, you should be able to just go back and rewatch it, my friend. It's still there. It's still there. And that's only, if anybody's wondering about that, that's only for the members that are prop firm level or higher. I do weekly live streams on Sunday mornings for them, specifically talking about whatever they want to talk about. Today was the first one. So yeah, every Sunday at 11 going forward, every Sunday at 11, there will be one, and I will always drop a link to the video in the community members section, members only section, but it's in the community tab. I hope that helps. If you're in the Discord, just hit me up in the Discord a little bit later, and I will talk you through it, my friend. No problem. You're welcome. Yeah, and Juice was hooking you up too. Thank you, Juice. Glad I found it. Very good session. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. Do y'all have anything else you want to look at? Let's go look at Euro real quick, see how she's doing. Still the same. Still the same. I'm going to be watching this thing all night. See what happens until I go to bed anyways. But yeah, you haven't even made it to the midpoint of this price yet. Already, people are jumping in this thing to short it already right now. I just don't like shorting at the bottom. Up here looks better. And this is that weekly level, so I'll be watching that. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, nobody has anything else they want me to look at, I'll give it about a minute or two as there is a lag, and I'm going to take a drink. And this is good news as well. BitCurl, the Discord is the CTM community. That's Jordan's, Jordan Lindsay stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with him on YouTube. If you found me because of him, there is a link in the description below. Unfortunately, the Discord is part of the course, the CTM course, and that's the only way to get access to it. What I'm going to do once the channel gets a little bit bigger, for all the people that aren't CTM, I might figure something out. I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about it because I stay extremely busy in that chat room answering questions and posting trades and stuff, so I'm not sure, but we'll figure something out for the non-CTM members of Trade Talk community. Indices, well, the S&P 500, I'm still bullish on it. Let's go look at oil. Oil is oil is the reason why CAD was so strong, because oil was going up. I don't trade this. This is a CFD, and we can't trade CFDs in America. Obviously, I can buy oil stocks. But yeah, you had a pullback, and it was expected because inventories were a little bit exceeded. I think they said the first time we had the report, you had a big bullish move off of it, and then the second time we had the report, because that report comes out once a week on oil, had a big pullback, right? So CAD Yen, I was watching CAD Yen, and that thing just got crushed. Anybody that got short on CAD Yen around Thursday, Wednesday, they had one heck of a trade, man. That thing got smoked. CAD Yen was terrible. But let's get rid of this level as we have a new support down here, right? This is your last bearish close. So this is your support level. You can see that crude prices pushed down into 58.93, was unable to close a daily even at the level. Now this daily candle here was an inside day candle, right? This is an inside candle. So this is a range bound candle. Basically, what people are going to look at is possibly wait for a small push up just to put in a little bit more of a high, possibly the trend line, and then look to sell it. It's bullish, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to sell it, but people will, because in short sellers' eyes, this is a retracement of a leg to the downside, so they're going to aim at putting this thing lower. So you have another level right here, right below that daily support level, and that's 58.35. I used to trade oil all the time. It used to be my favorite thing to trade, especially when I was learning and paper trading. I paper traded the snot out of this asset. Be honest with you, it's basically the only thing you have to look at and trade. This thing puts out pretty good, decent daily ranges most days, unless it's doing something like this, right? You don't want to trade in this stuff. This is the stuff you want to trade in. But it's easier said than done, obviously. So it looks like the sellers are currently in control. You have two support zones you got to get below right here. 58.93 and then 58.35. On the S&P 500, it is still bullish too. Oh, that's over here. I'm just going through these real quick because he said indices. No, the S&P 500 should be right here. There it is. This thing isn't going to open yet. I don't remember what time it opens. March 22nd, 2021. Is it open? Is it already open? I thought it opened at 7. But maybe it opens at 6. Yeah, it's open. Yeah, it's heading lower. That's that dollar strength. So, but I don't trust the move down this early in the week. That's my whole thing. This thing is still structured to the upside. This is a buying opportunity, in my opinion. Until you start taking out these levels down here on the S&P 500, you're in bullish territory. This is the first level you got to get below before I'm even thinking about entering shorts on this asset. All right, this first level, can't get it on there, is all the way down here at 38.42.80. Not looking for shorts on S&P 500 until we start closing daily candles below that. Then when we get another higher low, that would be where I would look to enter a short for a near-term trade only, because stonks only go up. And the Fed said the other day that they're going to do everything in their power to help these inflated asset prices continue to be inflated. All right, guys. I am going to call it a day. APY Finance, says Vern Wall. APY Finance. I don't see it. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, my friend. APY Finance. Tesla. Daniel says Tesla. Yeah, we gotta look at Tesla. We haven't looked at Tesla in a week or so. Wrong. No. Cancel. Tesla. Tesla got crushed. But maybe it found a low. All right. Maybe this is the low. Stonks only go up. This thing has nothing but good news in the future. I believe someday in the next 5 or 10 years, Tesla's going to be the energy leader in the world. They also got their batteries on lock, the technology they have more data when it comes to self-driving automobiles than any other manufacturer in the world. There is nothing bad to say about Tesla right now other than it's a bit overpriced. And that's not a bad thing for any shareholders at a lower price, right? Maybe you found a bottom. If the people that are bearish on this market right now get their way and this thing starts to head lower, then maybe, you just gotta... I bought more shares down here. No, it was on this day. I bought more shares. So obviously now those shares are in the red. But I bought shares here. When this bullish day happened, I bought the low, almost the low of day. It was beautiful. But then it rolled over. So you made a low and you came up. You could not get a daily closure above that. So that's not exactly strong. You can see it was tested to perfection on that day. And you're rolling over. So this is the level. All right. 5 or 600 spot 55. This is the level. If you get a daily closure below that, I would have to be looking at lower lows. As long as you're holding this area right here, then you could look for a possible stretch back to the upside, targeting this wick here at 718 spot 43 for a swing trade. If you're looking to buy for long-term hold, like 10 years, buy it now. It's going to be worth a lot more money than this. This thing is going to be insane. ARK Invest just put out their price targets. They're looking at a couple $1,000s a share for this thing. So, can ARK Invest be wrong? Probably. Yes, they can be. But are they? Probably not. They've been right on this thing since day one. So follow them, my friend. Follow them. Just follow them. Their ETF took a beating as well. So, all right, you guys, I will talk to you all later. Make sure you trade safe, trade smart, and happy trading, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully I fixed the blurry problem. From here on out, we should have decent streams. We'll talk to you next time.